All right, I am live. I actually stuck to the schedule a little bit more this time. I'm live about when I say I go live. That is to say, about 1:30 in the afternoon. Mic looks good. Webcam looks good. Browser window, that's all well and good. Open this on up. And let's open Mario Kart. Open the game here. Alright. I got hella stuff to talk about this stream. It's gonna be fun. And wacky at that. Very, very wacky. Wacky stuff. 2 viewers. Hot dog. Starting off strong already. Changement du jeu. Yeah. So, between streaming, what language was that? French. Welcome back, Malix. Between last stream and now, I actually fixed something. So, the past couple of streams, I had been having a slight issue where I think as a result of the custom skins and stuff that I was using, the kilometers per hour no longer showed up in the bottom right. The number for your speed still showed up, but there was no kilometers per hour thing. So what I ended up having to do was download a separate speedometer to add in a ping, like PNG file for the little label. And I ended up just putting all of the custom skins into that race.szs file and then put that in the my stuff folder. So now everything works great and it's almost seamless. So that's going to make this just a little bit more pleasing for the eyes, I think. In fact, while I have the opportunity here, before the races properly start, I'd like to get one thing out of the way that actually led to some significant difficulty a few streams ago, which is reading in French, a French news article that I saw this morning, that apparently other people knew about the thing that they were reporting on, but I did not. So, if you've seen any of the national headlines over the past 6 months, you may remember that the PM of Japan, Shinzo Abe, was assassinated, right? So we have here, Japon, après l'assassinat de Shinzo Abe, ouverture d'une enquête sur la secte Moon. So Japan, after the assassination of Shinzo Abe, the opening of an investigation or an inquiry, yeah, French gaming, an inquiry into what this directly translates to is the Moon sect, but what it really is the Moonies cult, which is very, very weird. I didn't know this. Apparently, so if I go down here, let's see, so it talks about the assassination a little bit. Combien de plus le Parti libéral-démocrate japonais a-t-il déjà laissé depuis le 8 juillet, date de l'assassinat d'un ancien premier ministre, blablabla, et la révélation des liens de la formation politique avec la secte Moon. So, the Liberal Democratic Party in Japan, it's not just Shinzo Abe. His party has connections to the Moonies cult, to such an extent that, let me see if I can find it here. En septembre, une enquête interne au PLD révélait que 179 de ces 379 parlementaires étaient en rapport avec la secte. So, to translate, in September, which means September of the previous year, an internal inquiry in the Liberal Democratic Party revealed that 179 of its 379 members of parliament were in rapport with, I think it'd be more accurate to say, like, were members of or had connections to the Moonies cult. Which was, like, kind of a bizarre slap across the face to me this morning. Apparently, other people knew this, but I didn't. You know, I knew the GOP in the United States has ties to quite a few religious extremists, but I didn't know that the same applied to the Japanese Conservative Party. And in case there is any confusion, the Conservative Party in Japan is called the Liberal Democratic Party. It's a little bit weird. Hello, Coco Bandera. Welcome back. I was just talking about a weird news article I saw this morning about apparently the Japanese LDP. The servers have been really dead. Yeah, I'm noticing. Just saw reviewed a news article that I saw this morning about how apparently the Japanese LDP are connected to the Moonies cult. Very sussy. And in fact, that's actually why Shinzo Abe was assassinated in the first place. I can't exactly go back to the article right now, but it revealed that the assassin who killed Shinzo Abe, for his motive, said that the Moonies cult had actually killed his mom, and that's why he assassinated Shinzo Abe. Because Shinzo Abe was a member of the Moonies. You know, I would make some comparison to the United States here, but I think yeah, it's like, it is kind of like action movie type shit. You know, and I would say that, like, you know, imagine if the United States, one of the parties, had, like, explicit and, like, deep-running connections to a cult, but that's already the case with the Republican Party. I don't know why I threw that backward. It's what we, in the business, what we would call fatherless behavior. Oop. I think I'm gonna lose this race, so. Yeah. Who else is gonna be? No. Everything's a cult. This is fucking... Religion is just left and right. Even within the more legitimized religions, you see so much cultish stuff. Let me check the, yeah, even Mario Kart. It's because of, like, some of it is because the insularity of different communities, you know, where there's such a insular in-group. Yeah, the competitive Mogies are, you know, you could say that. Also, that person was shown to be in Antarctica. I don't think they actually live there. You like how Dragonite appears in T-pose? Yeah. Initially, I was like, I don't know how to fix this, but then Goku Bandera was like, no, he's showing dominance. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Yes. And so I just decided to leave it like that. So now a bunch of characters that I have custom models for are just, like, T-posing on the character select. We got a full room of regular worldwides. I think it's just custom tracks that aren't particularly active right now. Yeah, you love how Dio made a cameo in the bad track review. Dio! Timmy. Yeah, I like this was the first time I really had to do a bunch of finicky stuff with textures, because ordinarily I would just put it in the my stuff folder like the description tells me, but some of them had conflicting race.scs or like driver.scs files. So I had to like extract individual textures and then put them all into one race.scs file, because otherwise only one of them would work at a time. So that was kind of a difficult process. But now I've got it all pretty much fixed up the way I want it to be. Complete with the speedometer and everything, which it looks a little bit different. That's because I'm using a slightly different speedometer than what's usually in CTGP. Also, it's mirror mode. No way I'm doing sand hop on mirror mode. Custom music is good too. Custom music I actually am much more familiar with. I mixed my own custom music. Yeah, it's sunny and cold today, which was super nice. I actually have a, on that same note, I have a story to tell. Oops. About yesterday. You know how I was saying that, like, now that I'm out of school, now that I don't have to go to school anymore, I can actually enjoy the, like, fall season? I actually got to yesterday. Damn it. I bounced so much. I had kind of a sinking feeling like I do sometimes when I get seasonal depression or whatever, and I could tell it's like, man, I haven't been getting outside very much lately. And I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, well, do you want to go on a walk? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we just, went on a walk, and it was super nice. And we talked about education policy the whole time, because we're both huge nerds. I have to use this here. Yeah, it was really nice. I can actually, in fact, I can share some of the details of the policy talk, because I wanna exposit it a little bit. My dad works for a college admission counseling group, and it's like a national group, and they were meeting with a counterpart of theirs that was based in the state of Illinois, right? And Illinois was having this this problem that you don't like custom characters that much. You just like custom textures for original characters. I have one of those too. I have a reskin of Luigi. Oh, I guess I'm gonna get last this race. I have a reskin of Luigi that makes him Casino Luigi. I have Streetwear Mario. I have Trans Rights Funky Kong, and I have, who else do I have? I have Raincoat Baby Mario, and I have Mario Strikers, Daisy, and Rosalina. Those are my, like, skins of existing characters. And I have White for Donkey Kong, which I call Honky Kong. No, that's totally fine. That's what Twitch stream is all about. But with this Illinois counterpart group was worried about brain drain. Brain drain is when, like, your state maybe doesn't have the greatest education resources, so what happens is people leave your state to get a college education, and that leads to, like, bad economic consequences, right? Other countries experience this a lot too, particularly in the third world. And there was a law that was introduced that was like, oh, okay, so we should ban the practice of, like, giving gifts to counselors, like high school counselors, very much solution in search of a problem. Because what it was trying to... What do I think about Italian politics? I think Italian politics is fucked, to put it quite frankly. Kitty Cats, long time no see. Welcome back. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, Malix, Italian politics is fucked. I'm doing quite well. I hope you're doing all right. Dang it. Go Dragon Knight, carry me to victory. Yeah, Italy has like 4 right-wing parties and 1 left-wing party, and 2 of those parties are fascist, and it's like, well, Sussy Baka hours. Well, I guess I'm in second now. You're in a coma of depression at the moment, hoping it passes, and thank you for asking. Yeah, no problem. I actually, I was talking about, a story of how my dad and I went on like a spur of the moment walk around the neighborhood because I was experiencing a little bit of a seasonal depression. I needed to get outside a little bit, and so he just offered to go on a walk with me, and we went on a walk. It was great. And we talked about education policy with regards to like high school counselors, brain drain, that sort of thing. And so there's like there was a state senator. Each state has its own senate in the United States. It's a federalist system. It's pretty heavily decentralized. And one of the Republican lawmakers, a very rare example of a Republican that probably still has good intentions, introduced a law that basically banned bribery, which is already illegal. It was not the greatest policy solution. But the problem they were concerned about is very valid. That is to say, brain drain. And funnily enough, the easiest and most obvious way to address brain drain in the sphere of like higher education is to make public college and university tuition free. Because imagine you're in a poor state in America or a poor region in a different country. If all of a sudden college is free where it wasn't previously, people, instead of leaving your state to find education, they're going to come to your state. And that's going to bring really good economic benefits, and that'll actually solve brain drain in your region. And so hopefully the committees and like groups that were assigned to research the issue will come to that same conclusion. I have a feeling they will, but but it was a fun walk. It was a fun talk, and both of us are huge nerds because we had like smiles on our faces the whole time while we were talking about that shit. Yeah, happiness is a hard thing to come by in the existential sense. Yeah, he is cool. We used to team in Super Smash Bros. It was also his birthday recently, so we celebrated his birthday and stuff. Please wait a moment for the race to commence. You had an oral test? That sucks. Tests in school suck, and tests in high school suck even more. So, the long and the short of it is, I took a walk yesterday, and I felt better for going outside. But no grass was touched. Important caveat. What got picked? I didn't see. Sherbet Land. Uh-oh. Too bad I'm not on Magic Cruiser. Ah. Everybody's dying behind me. Okay. I'm just gonna hold on to this. Okay, everybody hit the penguins. Oh, that was close. How am I in first on this track? You know what? It's because I haven't hit anything. If I don't hit anything, I will continue being in first, most likely. Wing it all on good looks and charm. That's a movie quote right there. Oh, looks like he clipped the wall there. Oh, dude, A&W root beer? Oh, okay. My luck is insane. Oh, well, not that insane, because I missed the item box, so... Whee. Excuse me, little penguin boyos. Will I front run Sherbetland for the whole race and get first? This is the key question. And I think the impending answer will actually be yes, short of a blue shell. Oh, kitty cats, don't get down on yourself too hard. It wasn't your trust that got you into trouble. It was the abuse of that trust by other people. You know? You're not at fault for trusting somebody. They're at fault for violating that. And remember, there isn't a single person on this planet who makes only good choices. And even if you only make good choices, shit will go sideways a million different ways. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I guess it's just one of those things that you have to like reiterate. You know? You're your own worst enemy, as the saying goes. Yeah, that's true. Making a decision at all is pretty hard sometimes as well. We got 7 people in this room. I'll probably do one more race with these fellas. And I'll go over to custom track, see if anybody's online there. Mirror versus. Ooh, I got a pain in my chest for some reason. Yeah, I remember in high school I thought it was just growing pains, and it might still be, but like anxiety related. That's possible too. I know a lot of people get those. And that sucks. Please don't hit me. Oh, he was cheeky. He tried to get me with that. Get me up there. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna throw this now. A bro. What if we rode beside each other in the cannon? Haha, just kidding. Unless? Ooh. I'm driving so badly. around this corner. Okay. Whew. I think I win? Yay, I win. That was hard. Mirror mode is way harder than I used to give it credit for. Alright. Yeah, get me out of this room. There we go. Custom tracks worldwide. Let's see, who should I be? Mirror mode can die in a ditch. Especially on custom tracks, holy shit. Mushroom Peaks on mirror mode? No thank you. I'm good. Thanks. Get that shit out of here. Let's see. Who should I pick, I wonder? Peaks on mirror. Peaks on mirror is like so big that it's almost like not awful. I don't know. Yeah. Who should I? You know what? I've been having the. Yeah, shocks notwithstanding. Also thunderclouds. Coco Bandera had been keeping account of thunderclouds, and I had like, there was one stream where I got like 5 or 6 thunderclouds, and there, you know, in each stream I only get to do like, gosh, how many races in like a couple of hours? I don't know. It was a lot of thunderclouds. Yeah, it's true. I don't know if there's some people who are like have even worse luck with that, and like I don't know if I'm ever gonna usurp that title, but 3 in a row. I've never gotten 3 in a row, thankfully, on my part. Let's see here. Oh, we got the Kaizo track, the Color Wonderland. Who's that way up there in first? Doggo 200. Okay. Let's see what this. Oh my God, this is a Carter. Yeah, I think most of the people who are in it who have been in my stream chat have been there as a result of Mario Kart Wii. Although I've had a couple of chatters who haven't come by in a while who watched me play Pokemon a time or two. Yeah, Peach Card. I have Bowsette as, oh no. I have Bowsette as a custom skin for Peach. And it applies to like the vehicle colors too. It's sick. Oh no, they fell off. At the mis at the my brain farted. At the risk of like sabotaging the mood here, because I love the positivity that's going on in chat right now. There is some news of like the American bourgeoisie going Joker mode, um, in that a lot of political talk gets started up around inflation, because that's the most direct visible economic factor that people can see in like $1 becoming worth less now than it was before, you know. um, and of course, to sort of dispel with any like misconceptions, inflation exists because of the magnitude of corporate profits. The more profits companies make, the higher inflation will be, because when a company has a lot of money, they drive up their prices to have even more money. It seems like paradoxical. It's like, why would they do that if they have so much money? Because they want to make more money. Um, and wages generally stagnate. It's the same thing with like the most visible example being the oil industry. Um, the oil tycoons in the Middle East, but also in America, will arbitrarily keep the price of oil high, even though it's super cheap to produce, ship, distribute, and all that. They'll keep the price of oil high so that they can sell gasoline and oil products for more money, and that way they get more in profits just by way of them, like, basically price gouging for lack of a more complicated economic term. But the Federal Reserve in the United States has decided to join in on this trend. The company's been like, come on in, the water's fine. Why don't you come arbitrarily hike prices with us? Because they've said they're going to raise interest rates, which means stuff like credit cards, loans, federal loans especially. The Fed has the authority to do that. And they have said that their objective is to deflate wages. They want wages to be low, and they want interest rates to be high. And the United Nations has been saying, America, what the fuck? You're going to drive us into another global recession, and it's going to suck. And then the Fed basically responded by saying, don't care, plus L plus ratio, plus not bourgeoisie, plus we're going to do it anyway. So that's coming up. Yeah, it's like, there are so many things that Russia has done, and you pick the one thing that they haven't, you know? Wait, a lot of footers from Ukraine? Like, on Russia's end? Oh, no. Zelensky, as much as I disagree with him on domestic policy, is absolutely in the right here. Ukraine, as a country, whether or not I agree with their politics, has a right to self-determination like every other country. Russia invaded Ukraine unprompted in 2014, and they invaded again in 2022, just this year. About Russian atrocities? There's video of them. I've seen video of Russian atrocities. They happen all the time. Oh, oops. Yeah. I've been reading news outlets on this ever since since before the war started, since it started heating up. Mostly Al Jazeera, because they usually don't have a just uncritical support of the West sort of outlook. CNN I generally stopped reading because of their new leadership. Needless to say, the war in Ukraine is very real, and it is Russia's fault. It's pretty simple. It is almost textbook. Where's your source for this? Kitty cats. I hate to I hate to be like confrontational here, but I'm gonna need a source if you're making these kinds of claims. Like, I'm serious. Redacted channel on YouTube? One YouTube channel? I'd be skeptical of this information, man. I would be highly skeptical of anything that's, at this point, that's still saying, like, oh, this was all staged, it's a Ukrainian hoax and whatever. Yeah, independent news channel. Those are about 50-50. And the independent news channels that I've been watching have been saying things that support my viewpoint, you know, on this matter. I do keep an open mind. I have not seen any convincing evidence that anything like all this stuff in Ukraine has been a hoax. In fact, it is almost textbook, event for event, like the German invasion of Poland in 1939. Germany annexed Czechoslovakia in 1938 by invading, and the West took the approach of appeasement. In 2014, Russia invaded and annexed Crimea. The West took the approach of appeasement. I am too, believe me. But, you know, it's important to know who is the instigator here. And at every step of the way where there has been the opportunity for de-escalation, because there has been, Russia has been the one to keep pushing. You know, who's threatening nuclear war right now? It's not Ukraine. You know, rule of thumb is that the country that threatens nuclear war is usually in the wrong. Why are we all involved? Because Ukraine is an ally? Like, they're not a close enough ally to invoke Article 5, because Article 5 would mean World War III, but we don't want that. Basically, Ukraine decided through I think a referendum, like a party referendum in like the 2010s. Yeah, they are. They're like an honorary EU member and stuff. That Ukraine has been pursuing this position, like this pro-Western position, since 2013. That's why Russia invaded Crimea in the first place, because Russia didn't like that Ukraine was getting kind of cozy with the European sphere instead of their like Eurasian sphere. You know? So Ukraine decided we want to be more on good terms with the EU, with NATO members, and stuff. And they've been trying ever since actually 2014, ever since the first invasion of Crimea. Ukraine has been asking NATO to become a member, and NATO has repeatedly told them they can't because it's against the rules. No, Ukraine is literally the least anti-Semitic country in Europe. I've seen the statistics charts. There's like the number of people in Ukraine who like are anti-Semitic to the point that they think that Jewish people should not be citizens is about 5%. In Russia, that same number, 15%. In Armenia, the most anti-Semitic country in Europe, 30%. Every country has Nazis. Ukraine has Nazis. I'm not going to deny this. But Russia also has Nazis. And guess who's running the Russian government? The Nazis. You heard of the Wagner group, very prominent mercenary group that the Russians have hired, literal Nazis. They're being sent to the front lines and whatever, and that's all well and good. I want Nazis to go to the front line and die. You know, same with the Azov battalion in Ukraine. I support them duking it out to the last Nazi standing. You know, but Ukraine's position, Ukraine's political position, is we want to maintain a liberal democracy. Putin's government is anti-democratic. He wants to invade Ukraine and put up a puppet government, much like the government in Belarus. Yeah, but you know, I wish the same exact thing. There's, you know, this is already like the biggest refugee crisis in recent memory, and all Russia has to do is go home. Like, you got to understand, this is 100% on Russia. All Russia has to do at any time is pull its troops out of Ukraine. What Ukraine has to do, if Russia decides to not do that, is try to like hold the line, gradually retake Ukrainian territory because they were the one that were invaded. They're too arrogant to back down. Russia is, yeah. Russia is very arrogant, and I think Putin's also getting a little bit desperate. He has a very like authoritarian mentality where he wants to have like a legacy project, air quotes around legacy. So he wanted to conquer a bit of land. In fact, the entire reason that yeah, Russia was revealed to be a paper tiger. The entire reason that Putin decided to invade in the first place, the reason he wants Ukraine to be in his sphere of economic control so badly, is because Ukraine holds 20% of the world's black soil. Black soil is the most fertile kind of soil that we know of for farming, and Ukraine is number 2 in grain exports, right behind Russia. So Ukraine was actually an economic competitor to Russia on the global stage, and the reason Russia decided to try to incorporate them into their sphere is so they could basically have a monopoly on the grain market. And of course I'm no economist, but I think that like you could find some pretty good economic analyses that would agree with me on that point. And another thing as well, just to sort of, why are all of our farms here going out of business? In you mean like in food shortages? Oh, yeah, that's because of the invasion. The 2 biggest grain producers are currently fighting, which is a massive disruption to the global food market. See, when markets are globalized, right? When markets are worldwide, any conflict anywhere has disastrous economic consequences everywhere. There are a lot of countries, not just England, not just the United States. We've seen a little bit of this in the US as well, but not as much. Especially countries in the third world are seeing total economic collapse as a result of Ukraine and Russia fighting, because they would have ordinarily been buying grain from Ukraine or Russia. But now those countries, first of all, Russia is plundering Ukrainian grain because their supply lines are so bad. But both of them need the grain to feed their own troops. They have a heightened demand for it. War, I'm going to, be totally honest for you. As good as war is for the war business, it is not good for the food business. Bill Gates has bought up shit tons of land and seeds. I don't know anything about that. I mean, he's a billionaire. He buys tons of shit, He's probably making investments into the farm economy and whatnot because of this global shock. And if he were able to like insert himself, isn't it all very sinister? Of course it is. But you realize that there is a clear lesser of 2 evils here. You have the neoliberal capitalist bloc with the IMF and the World Bank and all of those associated institutions, and then you have the fascist bloc with Russia, instead of using indirect institutional means to sort of use economic leverage to try to influence nations to go the way you want them to, will just invade you and kill your civilians and rape your women to achieve the same effect. I don't like either of those options, but the neoliberal economic bloc is clearly preferable. And all the elite are busy having underground bunkers. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are worried that it's going to escalate to nuclear war, and of course, because of the the global world order of capitalism, the elites are going to be the one that build their safe houses first. Yeah, they are prepping. But yeah, I'm sorry. I go super in depth to that because it's very it sort of touches a sensitive issue for me, because Russia calling Ukraine Nazis is 100% projection. In fact, there's a graphic that the Russian government used as a agitation propaganda. Russia Euro Bolshevism graphic. Where is it? No, hold on. Russian propaganda, Ukraine war. God, where was this? It's a shame I can't find this image. It was the image was of it was like a map of Europe, right? And it had the sort of EU block, it with the blue and the stars of the EU, with a hammer and sickle within the circle of the stars. And then Russia was colored red with a white circle and a black and white image of the imperial eagle. And they said we must cleanse Europe of the Euro Bolshevism. And there was like red arrows drawn or something. It was like some agitprop poster. Putin said that the Ukraine government and forces contain a vast proportion of Nazi sympathizers. Yeah, no shit. Every government on Earth contains a vast proportion of Nazi sympathizers, not the least of which being Russia. As much as, you know, Putin distances himself from the Nazis for aesthetic reasons, he has much more in common ideologically with Nazis than the Ukrainian like governing center like centrist party does. Like if you had to pick between, yeah, he is. Zelensky is Jewish. You know, Russia doesn't have a good history at all with the Nazis because the Nazis were also incredibly racist against Slavic people. So they committed genocides of Ukrainians, Belarusians, and Russians. Yeah. And also, what Ukraine is not doing, that Russia is forcibly deporting, civilians. I've seen actually there's an infamous Amnesty International report that basically says, yeah, in order to avert the biggest number of casualties, Ukraine should just like give up or like stop fighting in populated areas. But the difference is what Ukraine is doing is not setting up a defensive line and then putting civilians in front of them. What they're doing is setting up defensive lines so that the civilians are behind them so that the Russians have to go through the Ukrainian military to get to the Ukrainian civilians. And all of the rhetoric that Russia has used, like aside from the we must denazify Ukraine, every single other justification that Russia has used to invade Ukraine is blood and soil, which is the language that the Nazis used, and Putin is using ethnic minorities from Russia, the Kazakhs, the Siberians, the Chechens. Yeah, you know, every conflict contains a massive amount of that. And yeah, Russia has been doing that, but they're doing a million worse things. So understand that, you know, when you see stuff that's like that, you know, goes into the like line of the Ukraine war is a hoax, Ukraine is invading Russia. I don't know what they're currently saying right now. That, you know, it's a classic trap of the Russian propaganda network. You know, Russia has historically maintained, this is what made them actually such a contender on the world stage. They've maintained a very strong network of propagandistic, air quotes, news outlets. And they use that to sort of manufacture pro-Russian sentiment, or at least to sow discord in countries that they want to screw with. Propaganda is on all fronts. It's hard to know what to believe. Yeah. Yeah. It's just the less narrativized, usually, the better. You know, every news outlet has an agenda. The difference is most Russian news outlets are owned and operated by the state. They're, government owned, government run, government funded. We have news outlets in the United States that are government funded, but we don't have state media. Not that I know of anyway. I don't think I've heard of any of them. Like, take public broadcasting, for example. Public broadcasting is funded by the U.S. government, by taxpayer dollars. But the government has no say in what they put out. Russian news media, if a story gets to Russian news media that Russia sees and it's like, oh, that makes us look bad, they instantly kill the story. In fact, I've heard actual testimony from Russian journalists on this matter. I watched a stream where leftist streamer interviewed a former RT journalist, and this guy said that increasingly it became a problem where his boss handed him directives that conflicted with journalistic integrity, all in the name of like not hurting the feelings of the Russian government, basically. But once again, I'm sorry to come down on you so hard over that. It's just, you know. Oh, well, I think you understand it a bit more at this point. But actually, to go all the way back to what I was saying about the, yeah, everything is so corrupt and complicated. It's a fucked up world. We just live in it. To go all the way back to what I was saying about the Fed, yeah, no, that's totally fair, and I totally get it, you know? Desperate times foster desperation, you know? What I was saying about the Fed, unironically, there is actually an example of people trying to blame Russia for stuff that isn't actually their fault. For example, the rise in energy prices in the United States. That's not because of Russia. Russia, like, in Europe, maybe there's an argument for that, because Europe gets a lot of its gas from Russian companies. But in the United States, we get our fuel from the OPEC countries, which is in the Middle East. You know, they're producing the oil. And in fact, we grow a lot of our own food, so it's not like we're getting that badly affected by the grain shortages, even though we've seen it a little bit. So on that front, you were actually correct that officials in the United States did want to blame Russia for something that wasn't their doing. You know? Like, it's Russia's fault that gas prices are so high? No, it's not. It's Qatar and the UAE and Saudi Arabia, because they're the ones producing our energy. And also American oil companies, because they're allergic to not making $69 billion more every single millisecond. Yeah, that's actually one of the things as well that I kind of agree that it's weird that people blame Russia for that, because as much as I've seen that, like, some places in Europe get a lot of gas from Russia, there's perfectly viable alternative forms of energy and policies that you can implement to use less energy on an institutional scale that you wouldn't then have to front the cost to the consumers. England has been doing this. They've done nothing to meaningfully address the massive amount of waste that goes on at the corporate level. Meanwhile, their first answer is take shorter showers, use less gas on your stove, make sure you turn off your lights, to average people. So of course the Western bourgeoisie is gonna rear its ugly head in that way. You hate that map? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have picked it. I just sort of absent-mindedly settled on it because timer was running out. Should have picked random. But you depend on your internet and electricity. as far as that goes, I don't know if there's going to be that many consequences for that. Um, I think it's mostly what people are worried about with the gas shortages are oh, power cuts are scheduled. Never mind, that's really bad. You know, Dark Matter Fortress. I don't think I've played that one on stream yet. You know, I don't know how good of a position people are in um, over there, but buying solar panels is a good option for long-term energy, like self-reliability. Because I don't know what the law is in Britain, but in the United States, if you buy a solar panel, if you buy a solar panels to put on the roof of your house, what you have to pay for are the panels themselves and the installation, and then you get to generate that electricity free of charge. And in fact, if you have surplus, you can actually sell it back to the government so they can use it as part of the electrical grid. But it's a much longer term thing, you know. Like if you were gonna, if it's not like a long term living arrangement that you're in, it might not be advisable to think about getting solar panels. And of course, if you're in an apartment, that doesn't really work out either. I don't think. Yeah, the actual soul. Yeah, it can get pretty expensive, and you know. So woohoo! The world is messed up. God damn it! Like the and with Britain in particular, I think there's a position where you're like stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I've heard recently that the government was going to open up a bunch of new oil drilling licenses for the North Sea, you know, which would be good for securing an energy supply in the short term, but it would also fuck up the climate permanently, you know. And so on a climate front, I would oppose that because that's like really bad for the environment, you know. And it would long term it would lead to the displacement of a ton of people when the sea, you know, the sea levels rise and stuff. Jeez, that's a really unenviable position to be stuck in. And it seems like there's no shortage of unenviable positions these days. I almost fell off because my drift didn't come out. Yay! That track is fun. Yeah, I actually always used to like DS Rainbow Road. All this money and greed that's landed us in this mess. Yeah, absolutely. I'm only gaining like plus 27 for first. That could go sideways pretty quickly if I get a bottom spot, but that's okay. Lunatics thinking they own land. Yeah, land ownership is a fucked up like concept where it's like, oh yeah, all of this belongs to such and such company. You can't set foot there or we'll obliterate you with 100,000 machine gun bullets. Yeah. I think Woohoo Mountain? I don't know if I've done this one on stream. Oh yeah, Yeah, I was gonna say in Europe that's not as big of a thing as in the United States. Uh, I don't know exactly why. I think it's just because a lot of buildings like aren't built for that. You know, it's a very American thing. Yeah, that's why that there was such huge problems when the heat wave struck over the summer, right? It's because like houses in England are designed to actually trap heat because it gets pretty cold there in the winter. Um, but when it's not cold, it gets warm quick. I was kind of, I know, like this is very, yeah, like this is a very America moment for me. But I remember when I went to, well, I didn't know you could get on top of these things. You could trick off them? That's crazy. When I went to Morocco as a kid, we went to Morocco a few times. We didn't have air conditioning in the apartment. And I thought that was just a Morocco thing. And like when I grew older and sort of understood what the terms like first world, third world, developed, underdeveloped, and whatever were, I thought like, oh, maybe that's a third world thing or whatever, where uh, they can't afford to do as much like air conditioning, central air or whatever. From my point of view, it made sense that like if it's a poorer country, they wouldn't be able to do that as easily. But I didn't know that like Europe also was like that. And now I realize it's because of it was actually because of the scale of history there that a lot of buildings in Europe, a lot of settlements in Europe are just so old um, that like they're still inhabited today, and like you can't just destroy them. And it's also really hard to retrofit them to fit AC units. And probably the best you'd get is like a window unit, like one of those AC bricks that you put in the window. And I don't know if a lot of people even have that. Yeah, in fact, it like there's a trope about Spain being a really relaxed place, where that now makes a lot more sense to me because if it's so hot all the time, you're gonna have to not be super active to avoid stuff like heat stroke. I was like, oh, okay, I think I understand a little bit better now. Yeah, house was built around 1900. What's so surreal is in the United States that's considered like old. Like old old. Um, like in yeah, um, in Europe they say 100 miles is a long way. In the United States they say 100 years is a long time. Oh, this guy's on the spear. Massive shoutouts. Please don't banana me. Okay. Whew, that was close. I'm just gonna hold on to this green shell for dear life. Drake. Backwards. This here. I'm evil, I think. I hope that guy behind me doesn't have a red shell. That would bear disastrous consequences for this race for me, I think. Yeah, especially because I got a finger. I'll just put that here. Mushroom. What else do I got? Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me, especially because that's kind of what I model my stream off of doing. Ah. You didn't like that map? Yeah, it gets old for me. I want to talk about a little thing called unskilled labor. If you ever heard like some talk in the news or whatever about an economic issue, you might have heard that word before. You know, when they talk about like blue collar workers or low wage earners and whatever. No, that is totally okay. That's 100% okay. You know, this I assure you, the discussion that we just had is something that happens in like the highest academic level as well. So it's, you know, no, I meant absolutely no slight to you. It's just a disagreement and all that, and like what in my opinion are dangerous misconceptions that can lead to a lot of bad. But like, I don't blame you in the slightest for holding that opinion, because you know, there's the yeah. Luigi Circuit. But yeah, unskilled labor. So oftentimes it like people use it to refer to immigrants in particular over like American wage earners, or like people who are citizens just working low wage jobs. That was a good bomb by whoever threw that. Dang. But the term is a little bit of a misnomer. Yeah, no, that's a totally valid thing to be doing, and you know, you make mistakes along the way. I made some pretty severe mistakes along the way. You know, when I was trying to arrive at the political positions that I now hold. But you know, if you take a look at the labor that a lot of so-called unskilled laborers do, you will find that it is not easy. Dare I say it? It takes a lot of skill. You know, you wish you didn't care or think so much. Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. You know. Sometimes it'd be like that. It's like they say, with great power comes great responsibility, or like with the knowledge comes the responsibility to, like, you know, to do something or whatever. I guess to make my point that I was about to make a lot shorter. Have you ever seen like farm workers loading stuff onto the trucks that are about to like ship the food to different grocery stores and whatever? It takes up a lot of time and energy being a paranoid nutcase. It's true. Very difficult thing. Very difficult feat of energy and skill. Oh, somebody left. Okay. The you know, so-called unskilled jobs require a lot of skill. You know, being a farmhand, being a even being a janitor or whatever, it is not nearly as simple as people would make it out to be. People think about like janitors. Oh, you're just sweeping floors. That's not all you got to do as a janitor. You know, but the term what I've noticed recently, the term unskilled labor is actually a like moral justification of why people aren't paid very much. Like, and what I realized that was a little bit, a little bit funny and a little bit worrying at the same time, is that the term unskilled labor is basically a bourgeois way of saying, I don't know, man, you don't get paid that much. That sounds like a skill issue. Literally, the rich people telling the poor people, you're poor, skill issue. Because the juxtaposition of quote unquote skilled labor is like white collar, high paying jobs. Being a Funky Kong. I should show the Funky Kong skin sometime. I don't ever use Funky Kong on this license, but maybe like when I start on another license, I'll show it. My epic trap. He's a bully. He's got all the best stats and stuff. Like, it ain't fair. Ow. He's so fast. He's got that muscle shirt and whatever. Item Fireland. Pretty simple track, which is in part like it's part of why I like it. I think there's a couple of shortcomings that it suffers from, like I don't know, there's not a whole lot happening on straightaways, and there's not that many interesting turns. But it's the other side of that is it's very easy to understand. You're pro gamer to be talking stats. Yeah, I did. I'll do another race. I used to do it like falling off 6+ times. Yeah, this track is not great from the perspective of like knowing where to go first time, but it is like this layout is simple enough that you catch on the second or third time you play it. The problem is like it's almost like every track is as hard as Rainbow Road. Like going back beyond a certain date. I'm a huge statistics nerd, so this game isn't the only place where I talk about stats incessantly. By the way, the stats in like worldwides, they don't matter. Like I was playing Dry Bowser. That's what I had like. That's what I put Dragonite over. And, like, I'll beat Funky Kongs. It doesn't matter. Because everybody's all using the items and shit, you're getting blown up every 2 seconds. In online, you just go vroom. It's only in time trials, I think, where the stats matter. And also people in... Oh no, you almost got 6,000, drop way down? That's tragic. Yeah, in competitive Mario Karts where people care a ton about that, it's one of the things that I'll like shit on competitive players for, is that like in all the like the Mogi lounges or whatever the hell they call it, everybody's Funky Kong or Daisy, the characters with the speed stat, and they're all on like the best character vehicle combo. you know. And then you get online, you get sometimes you get genuine gems like that Carter in the one race. You know, they were on the Wild Wing. Like you never see that in competitive. You get upset over, at times over like how competitive the scene is now. Oh, like you'll get targeted. Yeah. I've actually, I've told the story a couple times, but I don't think there's any number of times that I can tell it that'll be too much. Is that I used to get really upset over stuff like that in Mario Kart, but then I actually saw, I actually quit Mario Kart for a time. You feel like you're getting bullied by some anonymous person. Yeah, I mean, that happens, and like the for me the thing that made me feel bad is because like, man, my performance is gonna suffer because of this and whatever, right? Like I'll basically like, shit, they targeted me, so I'm gonna get a bad place and lose a bunch of VR. But I, courtesy of actually Enmead responding to a comment of mine one time saying like, hey, we're this community should be a place where people are just glad to have you, where everybody's just glad to be there. Um, yeah, like that shit is mean. And as far as I'm aware, the like CTGP rules should lead to people getting banned because of that. You know, um, it is horrible. For me, like part of the way I got around that is just appreciating that in normal Mario Kart there are only 32 tracks, and 32, that's a good amount of content. But in CTGP there's like what, 216. No, it's okay. Everybody's got emotions. You got to make them feel, you got to make yourself heard so you can get that off your chest. In CTGP, there's 216 tracks, so I have to try to look at it as like, I don't care. I could be at 8,000 VR, 9,000 VR. I could be at 4,000 VR. I'm just glad that there's so many tracks that I can drive whenever I want to. Oh god, it's mirror mode. But like, look at this. This is just one of 216 tracks that I get to play. And like, 9-year-old me would have flipped out. When you play, it's usually because you're down. So yeah, in that case, I guess, don't let VR be the only thing that motivates you to play the game. If that's like, you're trying to divert. Yeah, that can suck. When you look for catharsis and you don't get it, and it just ends up making you more frustrated as a result. That can suck. And I have experience with that. I used to have anger issues in high school over that exact thing. But yeah, for me, the in Mario Kart, I had to like train myself to think about the game not as catharsis through like me winning. Yeah, it is one lap, just like in the 3DS version. But rather catharsis just in the fact that I get to drive and I do a trick and I land and I get the wheelie and like, oh, that's nice. You know? The stuff that I'll be able to do regardless of whether I get first or last. And that actually makes me feel so much better about playing the game. Windy Whirl, Suzuka, Forest Creek. I think I've played that before. Yeah, that's right. Play for the aesthetic. I'll do Frap Snowland, why not? You've gone full gun massacre if you had access to firearms, for instance, after... Yeah. Yeah. And it probably... What makes it even better that you're in the UK than in the US is that they actually have a national health service that enables you to get some sort of care after you do that. In the United States, you're not guaranteed... You know, if you don't have a pretty substantial source of income, you're not guaranteed any sort of mental respite in the form of counseling. You know? That's why in the United States there's like a mental health crisis. Care, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of you know, counseling is a very valid resource that you know, it's free because it comes at a greater cost. Yeah. In the United States, we don't even get that. We still have to pay out of pocket. You know? Like, our taxes already pay for most of the health care and health insurance that we get, but we still have to pay for it when we go to the, like, the doctor's office. And even sometimes, it costs more when you're insured. That's not a rule, but, like... Yeah, I know. I think I've seen a couple news articles and a couple of, like, stories about how, like, the NHS has been sabotaged a lot by the like conservative parties and stuff. Oh, mental health care. Yeah. Later you'll link me a video. Yeah. No problem. Nine viewers, welcome. Whoa! I'm kind of surprised I lived there. Oh, undercover health workers talking about how, like, the healthcare system actually kind of sucks. Yeah. It's so open to abuse? Mm-hmm. I've heard that before. And I don't doubt that that's accurate. Ooh, I stole first place. Yeah. Look, I know that, I know that I'm not a health professional, and I know that probably nobody in my Twitch chat who else is, comes by to chat is a mental health professional. But if there's any, respite that we're able to offer, or if there's anything that we can talk about that makes you feel better, in the sense of having somebody to, like, open up to even a little bit, I'd be glad to try. Well, that's good. That's good. And $1,000 a week for a therapist is not cool? Yeah, no, it's not. It's really not. And that's, I've come to realize that mental health care, as much as we can attach professional aspects of life to it and medical language and whatever, which undoubtedly some of that applies. What it's really about is trying to talk to people in a way that gets you in a better mental space. Jesus, that's fucked up. Luckily, I think my therapist only charges me like per appointment, which is nice. That's good at least. Or, I mean, I say therapist, she's a psychiatrist that I talk with occasionally, but, talking with her on occasion does make me feel better. But yeah, either way, like the end objective of therapy is just to be living in a better space within your own head. And as far as I'm concerned, anything that can help you, accomplish that, short of like toxic positivity, you know, is perfectly valid. Made me happy, I think. Yeah, I've made no attempt to move out of the junk room. Well, look, you got the nice pink velvet, right? You got the pink velvet bed. So that's one thing. A lot of times, with depression, it's like for me, it's very much like even small things can be like Herculean sometimes. You got the velvet bed installed. That's one major step already done. And if there's like, if you need to devote like a day or even a week of time to like moving out of your other room, just with in mind that, hey, I'm gonna feel better after I've done this, because it's gonna be new, it's gonna be much nicer, cozier, then take all the time you need, because at the end of the day, however long it takes you, it's gonna be done eventually, and you'll get to feel all the much better for it. Oh, I'm cheating. That was the most cheaty finish I've ever seen. Oh my god, I did not earn that at all. I'm so sorry, Coco Bandera. This is a great room that we're in right now. You're hemmed into this other room. Lots of furniture and junk because you're used to it now. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You can imagine it as like that room is your old headspace, and this room, the like the new room, it's not gonna solve all the problems, but it's gonna be a significant step up. So, just basically just take baby steps to start saying, okay, what do I need to move out of this room? Okay. Yeah, there you go. And that's already effort that you're putting in. Yeah, giving to charities. That is a great way to not only set your mind at ease, but also like give to people who really need stuff in the material sense. I don't think I've ever played this version of Fraps Snowland before. This is very pretty. You hoarded all your daughter's stuff and you had to let him go. That's a pretty hard thing to do, and I'm glad you were actually able to find the mustard to do that. You know, I think you'll find that if you evaluate what what you still need to do, but bleh, also all the stuff that you had to do to even get to that position, you know, you're gonna find that I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You know. You have one small storage for stuff. It is very hard letting go. That's why it's good to see it as an accomplishment when you're able to do it. You know? It's for me the silver lining of having grown up around a lot of aging family members, having gone to funerals, you know, processing the death of people who were, I guess, near me to varying degrees, was that I learned what it was like to have to like let go of somebody. You're into clean lines and emptier spaces now? I like that aesthetic. I actually have my room is very organized in a very minimalist aesthetic. Like to some people it might actually seem a little bit empty, you know. Yeah. Ooh. Them knuckles. Them knuckles be cracking. You have the important things? That's good. Empty rooms make you sad? That's alright. Just have your room be populated with stuff. You know, to each their own. We just played Trap Snow in, so let's go with an Arbitron. I don't think I've played this one. Yeah. Everybody's got interests, everybody's got tastes. Sometimes the tastes conflict with each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, hey, pick my track twice in a row. Will you look at that? My luck has turned around this stream in terms of the track picks. I think it was the last stream or the stream before. It was like picking Mushroom Peaks and Rabbit Hole and stuff, and I was like, and that's what spurred me to make the latest YouTube video that's on my channel about like bad track review part 2. It was just mostly about how I hate the Rabbit Hole. You need to understand how you're not getting 2K, how I'm not getting 2K viewers. It's because I only recently started like streaming seriously, and also it is a conspiracy or something. I don't know. You know, hopefully one day I'll get there. You know, that'd be nice. Because I think I have a sinister, yeah, airhead bitches with nothing to say, being having all these viewers. I started, I've been streaming on and off actually for 6 years, but in terms of like taking it seriously as a career. Oh no, you got kicked out? That sucks. In terms of like taking it seriously as a career, as a life path, as like the way I want to earn money and stuff. I've only been streaming since like June, July maybe. You know, so I've been streaming for 6 years, but my stream has only been good for like 3 months. You got first though for some reason, a lot of VR. Nice. We take those. Kit Boga? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm not Oh, other Twitch streamers, right? Kit Boga and Casey Tron. I've never heard of those streamers. I mean, there's a lot of streamers that I haven't heard of. But, I'm trying to do a thing where I fuse gaming with politics, Oops. Oh, that's awesome. I think it's great that people can find streamers that they see themselves in, and they can watch them play games. Because there are streamers who talk about politics, right? And and I follow some of those. There are streamers that do gaming. I follow some of those, but there's nobody that I've really seen who does both. So I was hoping like, hey, what if I set up my channel and I do, because I like talking about politics. I like playing the video game. What if I did both? Talk and chew gum at the same time. And especially, I'm trying to be a point of entryism into left of center politics. So people, normies who play the game can watch me and listen to me and be like, wow, this guy's a commie. And I can say, yes, in fact, that's true. Ooh. Sometimes not kind to females, though, so you never say a word. That's kind of messed up. What? Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. They have to play to their audience. If there's a woman streaming. Oh, thank you very much. I see. Like, I know there's a very cynical lens of analysis here, but I'm willing to bet that because of, unironically, because of systemic sexist preconceptions of women as sex objects, basically, guys want to look at booba, and if the girl streaming, the girl with the booba, is nice to them, they're more likely to donate money. And if they reflect the guy's opinions sometimes about, women should have booba, then they're even more likely to give money. So it's most likely like playing to the guys in the audience. Although this is of course armchair analysis. I haven't seen this person's streams. I don't know what they're like. Oh yeah. Well, that's good at least. Either way, I still think that it is a little bit of like inevitably having to play to the system within which you exist to like get support from the guys in the audience. Yeah, because like on Twitch it's a very like Twitch can be a very financially insecure place to make a platform, so that's most likely why. And at the risk of sounding charitable, I'm basically calling her a kind of a grifter. You know, although I don't want to start too much shit, because again, I've never seen this person stream. Throw that red shell. Ah. Throw that banana. What? That didn't go nowhere. Whatever. Oh, he hit a green shell. Bro, what the hell? What? I hit a banana! It's okay. That was genius banana. 2000 IQ. As many IQ as the number in my name. That's alright. Typos are all well and good. I'm just gonna use this here. Okay, oh, well. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I don't really know a better place to have used it. I'm gonna be mean and put a fake item box. Let me actually, right now, it's getting to the point there's like 20 minutes left in the time where I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna see if anybody that I follow is live right now, so that I can... do you know who this door person is in CTWW? I've been in races with them before. Are they being an asshole? Not unheard of for this to happen. You know, many people have said this. Oh, about you mean about Amaranth, where her husband was like abusing her really hard? Yeah, I saw that, and that's fucked up. And I hope that she gets the proper remuneration from the courts, and I hope that he gets basically like dispossessed of all their holdings, because holy shit, you know. And I don't want to sound overtly, you know, not overtly. I'm okay with sounding overtly like whatever. I don't want to sound overly spiteful here, but clearly she's the one earning the money in that relationship, you know, and she's the one putting in a lot of work, and you know, that guy is gaslighty as fuck, and yeah. I think any legal action that she could take would be justified, just because this guy, you know, although that'd be difficult because her husband, from what I have seen, has almost total control over her finances, and you know, it's not good. No, she's not. Her husband forced her to like wear the booba shirt. She does that, like, the reason she did that is because her husband told her to do that. I saw a clip from a stream where she, like, really not having a good time of it. You don't believe her? What do you mean you don't believe her? Dude, there's like receipts upon receipts upon receipts that her husband was like being abusive and shit. Like the text that she showed, there's like almost no room for doubt. You know? You could elaborate? Please do. Because she's shown that her husband has been, like, overtly threatening to, like, if you don't, you know, if you don't do this right now, I will kill your dogs, I will throw away this money, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, and again, you know, I would ask, in this case, for something this sensitive, I would ask for evidence that it is the other way around, that she's abusing him, or that actually it's not an abusive relationship, or whatever. You know? Shortcut. Seriously. You got some evidence to prove me wrong? Please show it. You know, that's the key thing, is like, I'm willing to have my mind changed on this, but like, I've seen some pretty damning evidence of the husband being abusive in this scenario, So I've got to see some pretty damn convincing evidence in the other direction for me to change my mind on it. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's the reasonable position to go with here. No, this isn't gonna be me falling out over anything, right? You haven't seen anything? Okay. Yeah, Twitch is also partially at fault for allowing that kind of content. I mean, like, on the one hand, it's like, if somebody wants to wear a booby shirt, that's fine. But, like, if Twitch is supposed to be a kid-friendly platform, then I think they should approach it a little bit more sensitively when issues of, like, basically softcore pornography come up. Not necessarily because I believe, like, oh, that's going to be super harmful to kids just on her own. Talking about her bikini streams. Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know. No, yeah, I'm not denying that, you know, she behaved like, I don't know, booba woman on stream. But the problems there are not with her necessarily. They're with her husband, because it came out recently that he was apparently forcing her to do this. Yeah, and the issue is with Twitch as a platform for allowing that to persist. But for, you know, because it can have pretty bad consequences from a perspective of parasociality. You know, if there are underage people in the chat who are interacting with this person, it's like, it's watching porn, but you interact with the person who is doing the porn. That can be harmful in the long term because it damages your capacity to, like, form genuine social connections. Yeah, Twitch adding the hot tub category is really not helping. But, like, unironically, what I think would help is if Twitch had, like, an 18 plus sort of gatekeeping mechanism. Yeah, kitty cats. You know, again, I don't mean to come down on you super hard on any of this. It's just like, here I try to operate as strictly on factual information and, you know, receipts as much as I can. And then from that, I form my moral judgment based on the framework that I have, you know. You know, I don't want to make a claim without having any evidence to my name for it. And if I get caught doing that, I will have to I'll have to shut up or, like, find some evidence. And I trust you guys to call me out on that. You were helped by your neighbors who called the cops? That's nice. That's good. Good neighbor behavior. Yeah. But, yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling me this the other time. Yeah, and it's, look, it's okay to feel that pain, you know? It's fine. I don't want to, like, I understand that. I know. And I don't want to, like, be put in a position of also, like, seeming like I'm really coming down on you and all that. I want to be firm in my positions, but I, you know, try to make it very clear. This, you know, none of what I am saying in disagreeing with you is meant as, like, a directed towards you as a person. I'm just a little bit of a confrontational person myself, and what I'm trying to engage with here and take issue with is the opinion rather than the person it comes from. Oh. Ah, fucking card guys. You don't hate other women? Yeah. You don't hate other women. I don't doubt that for a second. You hate everyone. Yes, of course. Naturally. You hate everybody equally. But But yeah, what I was saying about Twitch, back to Coco Bandera, was that I think actually Twitch it would be okay for Twitch to have like the hot tub category and stuff where you have the booby streamers. If you also have like like you must be 18 or older, or like you must be of age to view this content, you know? Like Twitch itself wouldn't be locked behind that wall, but the hot tub category would be. You know, so that way you at least kind of avoid the problem of underage people falling into like dangerous holes of parasociality. Yeah, I've been there, kitty cats. You know, it's not fun. Zephyr. You actually like her, but Amaranth, you mean? Yeah. Like I said, I've never actually watched any of her stuff, so I don't know whether I would like or dislike her as a person. But even if I disliked her as a person, my my position still stands that's, you know. Yeah, absolutely. She's using what she has to survive. It's you know, it's no fault of anybody that the system is brutal enough that you have to resort to certain what might be considered obscene measures by some to get by. And we just played the rabbit hole again. Bleh. In fact, you could even view like hot tub big booba streams on Twitch as a form of sex work, and I'm pro sex work, right? But if you're gonna, I think fairly, categorize that as sex work, yeah, she's been, understandably, that's gotten people banned before. If you're gonna categorize that as sex work, you need to lock it behind the appropriate paywall, like not paywalls, but the appropriate like gateways, so that underage people aren't engaging with this, because we, as a society, we understand that certain exposure to like sexual content is not necessarily good for people who are underage in the sense of like it can lead to misconceptions about sex, it can lead to misconceptions about forming relationships, and especially with how Twitch does things, it can lead to misconceptions on a parasocial front. And yes, I do actually think that I do think that Twitch should be for everyone. Which is why I would suggest that the hot tub category be restricted behind a, you know, whatever. If it still exists at all, you know. But it's a difficult thing to ban outright, you know, because like all sexual content is difficult to like make rules around. You know, especially if the rule is like it's just not allowed entirely. But if you decide that it's its own category to be like gatekept behind different prerequisites, it's a little bit easier to handle. You know, a lot of this, you know, some of my viewpoint here is a product of pragmatism more so than anything. Because I agree that like if Twitch is supposed to be a platform for everybody, family friendly and all that, probably shouldn't have pornography. Although if it didn't, I don't know what all my horny Turkish comrades would do with themselves, because porn is actually banned in Turkey. So it's the only way they can get their fix. I'm serious. Have you seen Turkish chatters come into like somebody's stream? This in every like big booby stream, there's always like some there's always some like Turkish Twitch chatters that are getting really, really horny because Erdogan has decided that Turkey will become the horny police. I'm pretty sure Hassan has talked about this before. Ah, okay, well. Greek guys as well. Yeah, horny jail. You go to horny jail in Turkey. Unfortunately, I think that's not true. I think you just go to regular jail. I would be 100% okay with the horny jail as a concept, because if you have a horny jail that's meant for, you know, people who do the horny, then the horny jail is filled with horny people. They can all be horny with each other. The good ending, if you will. What the fuck? Boobs. Segs even. Yeah, dodged the shot. Sorry about that. Do not hit me with the green shell. Did he just fall off? No. Is it just porn or all sex work? I think it's also all sex work. Or it's like the law bans all sex work and it categorizes porn as a form of sex work. So yeah, it's a much more expansive ban. Poor Turkey. It used to be a liberal democracy like a lot of other countries in geopolitical Europe, but then the can we not talk about sex when playing Mario Kart Wii? I hate to disappoint, but last stream I basically talked the whole stream about conservatives and gay sex. Yeah, they can't stop thinking about it. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Ooh, I got a cramp in my foot. Okay. I think I'm good now. Damn, that was sudden. Spain with no S, it's true. French people be like, delicious. Yeah, it's fucking language joke. We do comedy on this live stream. Rubbish free emoji. I do have some emotes on my channel. I'm gonna, once I get affiliate, I'm gonna add sub emotes, but I think if you go to like channel emotes, there are actually some there currently. I added them through a Better Twitch TV. I don't know if either of you have that extension. That's just gifted shit? Oh geez, well I might need to fix that. Cause like I intended for the emotes I added to be like free emotes, and then I would add stuff for like when I add subscriber emotes, there'll be a Joe Biden one and a Bernie Sanders one. You don't see them? That sucks. I'll have to look into that after stream. Oh no, you know what? I know what I can do, because I don't know if there's any like tab that I can create to do that, but what I can do is actually create a command. I can create a command from on Nightbot, and it just have it be like exclamation point emote or whatever. And then when you type that, Nightbot says, like, here are the emotes that you can use. Because I think you'll still, if you type in the emotes, you'll still be able to use them. Yeah, I know. Nightbot sucks, but it's all I got right now. Also, I just got messed up. It's okay. This track is like Baby Park, but longer. So it's all good. Ooh, a star. I will change this at the next item set. Never mind, I'm using it here. Get out of my way, idiots. Yay! Let's go! Final lap and I dodged the shock. Okay, that guy's probably got first, so I'm gonna just use this here and get a fake item. Nice. You have fucking 2K debt, so don't worry, you tend not to sub. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the whole thing where people ask people to sub. In fact, what I'll likely end up doing, I'll do one more race and then stream is almost, it's about time for me to end stream, is like run an ad every hour or something, like a very short ad, so I can get a little bit of revenue. Yeah, and just make sure, that I have stuff set up so that if other people want to donate, they can like do it. Run 4 ads. Only Taco Bell ads. True. This is gonna be the Taco Bell stream channel. Twitch affiliate and Taco Bell affiliate. Every half hour. Yeah, I could. I don't know how much that would get in the way of the viewing experience, though. I don't, like, as much as I love the prospect of, like, being able to make money off of this and make it my, my career, I don't want to, you know, like, put ads at a frequency that makes it, like, comparable to cable TV or whatever. Although every 30 minutes is already only Taco Bolshevik 2K. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I mean, I could do every half hour. Hassan does every hour. I don't know if there's a way to get around the ads. If there was, I would covertly encourage you guys to do it. Because let's be real, I don't like watching the Twitch ads either when I'm on channels that are like that. Yeah. I think ad blockers don't even do it, unfortunately. Because I have an ad blocker and I still get Twitch ads when people do them on their channel. Cock blocker? True. I don't have one of those, but that's because I like cock. So. I'm sorry, I said I was going to stop talking about sex. I think my deadpan delivery kind of helps on that one. Where do I use this? Probably like here. True, I just talked about gay sex. That's true, not regular sex. Gay sex doesn't count. Please do not maul me, chain chomp. Please be nice. Ooh. Interesting. Gay is good if you're gay. True. I'm not just gay. I'm turbo gay, also known as pansexual. Ugh. Got a tightness in my neck. That sucks. Fucks anything and everything. True. All it has to do is be sexy and able to give consent. You're straight, which is gay in its own sense. True. Dude, being a guy, honestly, kind of gay. You have a dick strapped to you at all times. Straight is a new gay. Yeah, we were talking about that the other stream as well. But like unironically, because a lot of like super masculine behavior is trying to gain the sexual approval of the same sex, as opposed to the other sex. You know. Yay! I won the last race. That's a good note to end on. Dragonite's a cool Pokemon. I actually really like Dragon types. Dude, I almost didn't even notice that I'm at 9,500 VR. Man. You ever been to a gay club? I don't think I've ever been to a regular club. No, I don't think I have. To be perfectly honest. Right now, I'm gonna look for somebody who's live so I can raid. Let's see who all is. You have to be 21 for clubs. Yeah, I think for most clubs the age is 21 because they serve alcohol, and the drinking age in the United States is 21. For places where the drinking age is 18, then you probably have to be 18. You know, because otherwise they could get into legal trouble. Well, is live. Yeah. Because I know in Europe it's mostly 18. Dang, who all is live right now? Oh. So as far as gaming goes, I don't know how much you guys would like the two channels that I have in front of here, but even though I know he's not going to notice me, you guys probably will like Azan, Turkish-American streamer. So I'm going to go raid Hasan Abi. There we go. He's not going to notice it. Nobody's going to notice it, but y'all going to have a good time, so. What do you mean, fuck no? What are you talking about? He's a cock? Yeah. Whatever. I mean, there's nobody else that I know that's live anyway. Nobody that's less of a cock than him. He's yeah, it's true. He's got a lot of political takes that I agree with, so I think that's the main draw there. You just got to get past the rudeness. The Mario Kart category? Alright. Be good.